Well, here it is, boys and girls. 2007 Dodge Ram 3500 Megacab dually. Obviously, I got the HID lights in there. I got them both in the high beams, low beams, and in the drive lights. Not going to get too much into that. Didn't go too bright. As people are driving down the roads with both your driving lights and your high beams on, or even low beams on with those ultra bright lights. It's ignorant. Don't do it. I can turn them all at the same time with my tuner, but I choose not to, especially when there's other people around. If you're on your own dark country road by itself, fine. I'm over with that rant. Anyway, so here it is, 6.7 liter turbo diesel Cummins. Nice and clean underneath the engine bay here. Went with an H&S EGR Delete kit. You can see the plate there for where the valve used to be. This side was actually quite easy to get everything off and get all the connections and everything disconnected. There's a connection that's underneath right over here that's a little bit tough to get at, just so you know if you're having problems pulling it apart. It is one of the connectors that have the clip on it that you have to clip out and then push this thing to pull it out. Something similar to that bad boy right there. At any rate, I wasn't sure. I had fought with that for a little bit of time, but then again, I'm no mechanic. This side right here was a little more difficult. The EGR cooler itself was kind of a pain in the butt to get out. The front wasn't too bad. The back was pretty tough to get at, but I did eventually get at it. Now, as you guys probably know, with all the different EGR Delete kits that there are out there, some of them block off the coolant line that goes to the block there, and some of them run a hose. I chose to run a hose even though this kit that I had the block off there and the block off right here. You just plug it up there and plug it up over there. I decided to run the hose there just for the fact that I heard that it's supposed to give you a little more consistent coolant temperatures inside there. I've heard some stories regarding cracking the heads because the coolant's not cooling it down enough at the back of the block there. Also, when you do the delete, you lose your transmission mount because it was attached to the cooler before. So we built a bracket. There's a bracket right there. Heated it up a little bit on this side, did some bending, and voila, have a bracket. I'm pretty happy with what we did there. Here's where the EGT went in. EGT gauge, or thermometer. Right where everything comes together just before it hits into the turbo. Best place you're going to get your most accurate exhaust gas temperatures there. Ran it up there. There, across the front of the firewall, and then of course through the firewall and into the cab, which I'll get at here shortly. Went with a S&B cold air intake. Always heard good things about it. Heard they filter quite well. I was very concerned about driving down country roads and dusting my engine. I've heard some horror stories regarding that. I've also been told if you do anything to this engine, leave it with the stock air cooler, but I just couldn't leave it alone. So here we go, S&B. Also went with the cover over top of the filter, as I went with the oiled filter, and I do a fair amount of driving on gravel. And again, a little nervous about dusting the engine. I want this thing to last for a long time. That's why I ended up doing the whole EGR DPF Delete on it. We'll get to the DPF Delete here shortly. I want to show you the tuner that I went with. Went with a H&S Minimax. Awesome tuner. One thing I will tell everybody here that I got the tune put on initially, and you know with these transmissions they really like to run at low RPMs. This thing was droning like crazy with the exhaust on it. I ended up going with the overdrive transmission tune that H&S offers, and I would 100% recommend that tune. It's shifting, this truck is shifting like it should shift. It's not lugging, it's amazing. It shifts awesome. Super impressed, and I'm not getting that drone anymore either. On the gauges here, if you can see, I went with the exhaust gas temperature on the main screen here. On the Pyro number 1, went with the boost, turbo boost, went with transmission temperatures because I do some heavy hauling, and coolant temperatures just to see how I'm running. I'm not going to get too much into the cab. Pioneer system, subs, and all that kind of good stuff. It came with it, or else I wouldn't be adding it because I'm old, and old people don't do that kind of stuff. Start it up here. It's got a nice sound now. A little more throaty than what it used to be. I'll idle it up. Sounds actually really cool in the morning when you idle it up and you put your exhaust brake on. Actually, if you can hear it, it's making a noise here right now. I'll come around back here just to show you the exhaust. There it is, AFE, 4-inch turbo back. Got a nice sound, smells like diesel now. And again, you come back around to the engine compartment. Sounds like a diesel. Sounds a little more like the 5.9s, not quite. But I would highly recommend anybody who's considering doing this after your warranty has expired, get her done. I think performs way better. Even on just the stock tune, or no tune, I should say, just stock, this thing performs a hell of a lot better than it did before. Even on mild, this thing's a beast. I'm loving it. You want to put some smoke out there, there's the wild tune, and then there's a hot tune that comes with it, and you can smoke out an intersection on hot, but beware your barometer gets up really hot within a matter of seconds. Anyway, anybody has any questions regarding doing the actual delete or the DPF delete, any of that kind of stuff, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Again, loving it. Recommend the transmission tune. Bye.